Sometimes you just can't help but feel for guys. Because sometimes guys get fired and you know, deep down in the bottom of your heart, it wasn't their fault. Elliotte Friedman made this tweet earlier this afternoon. There is word in Columbus that they're making a coaching change. You got a feel for Pascal Vincent. They dropped him into a very, very difficult spot. And then the top replies, I heard Mike Babcock is available, time to give him a chance. Pascal Vincent did a horrible job in that spot, haha, loser organization, they'll never figure it out. And then you had yourselves the other tweets here. Chris Johnston, hey, the CBJ have fired head coach Pascal Vincent. NHL News, the Blue Jackets have now gone through 3 head coaches in about 14 months. Brad Larson from 21 to 23, Mike Babcock from 23 to 23, and then Pascal Vincent from 23 to 24. The Columbus Blue Jackets have officially made the announcement they've relieved Pascal Vincent of his duties as head coach of the team. Columbus went 27-43-12 in Vincent's lone season as the club's head coach in 23-24. Now again, I'm looking at the situation, I'm thinking about Pascal Vincent, and I'm thinking about not the record, I'm not thinking about this, I'm thinking about the team that he was supposed to be the head coach of. I'm looking at that squad and saying, wow, they stunk this year. Of course they finished 27-43-12. Of course they were, 4th worst in the NHL this most recent season. Of course. They were that bad on paper. I don't think it's really the coach's fault here that the team was performing as poorly as they did, and for the Blue Jackets to have named Pascal Vincent the head coach after Mike Babcock in general, that moment already came after a time where all the other coaches were hired and there weren't really too many names available, and the Blue Jackets needed to do something because the Mike Babcock thing was getting out of hand and he got fired, and Pascal Vincent came in because they just defaulted to him, and now after one season, hey, sorry, he's done. You gotta feel for the guy, man. This is really unlucky, and honestly, whoa, do I say it's undeserved? I don't know. Is that the word I would use? I'm not really too sure. But let's go out there and read the press release on this either way. Blue Jackets staff posted this earlier this afternoon. The Columbus Blue Jackets have relieved head coach Pascal Vincent of his duties with the club. Blue Jackets president of hockey operations and GM Don Waddell announced today, while no further decisions regarding the club's coaching staff will be made at this time, the search for a new head coach will begin immediately. As I spent time with Pascal over the past few weeks, I found him to be an outstanding person and smart hockey coach who worked very hard last year under trying circumstances, but I believe a change behind the bench is in our team's best interest. On behalf of the organization, I want to thank Pascal for his work ethic, professionalism, and contributions during his 3 seasons with Columbus. So this does not really, I don't know, it doesn't make it difficult, I would say. It softens the blow a little bit to recognize that the guy that is firing Vincent was not here when Vincent was hired, nor was he here when Vincent went through the entire season that we had just talked about, 27-43-12. It is a brand new person at the top of the chopping block and the food chain there, so seeing him make that immediate decision, hey, sorry Pascal, but this is not really the direction we want to go down, I can understand that. It makes a lot more sense in that way, but of course, it still doesn't feel good if you're Pascal Vincent, because what else was there he could have done? He couldn't have improved upon this. The team was just bad. Columbus went 27-43-12, 66 points, a .402 points percentage in Vincent's lone season as the club's head coach. The 52-year-old joined the Blue Jackets as associate coach in 2021 before taking over head coaching duties in 2023. He spent 10 seasons as a member of the Winnipeg Jets organization, including 5 as head coach of the AHL's Manitoba Moose from 2016 to 21. He compiled a 155, 139, and 31 record in 325 AHL games and was an assistant coach with the Jets under head coaches Claude Noel and Paul Maurice for 5 seasons from 2011 to 2016. So that's a lot going on there, but honestly, the way everybody is responding to this, I mean, there are a lot of comments going out there and talking about whether or not this was the right move, whether or not this was unjustified, undeserved. I mean, yeah, as I had spent time with Pascal over the past few weeks, here's a quote from Don Waddell. Also, welcome your new coach, Todd Nelson. Mark my words. That makes me suspect it was a mutual decision. Why? It's extremely normal head coach firing speech. Yeah, that's not mutual decision language. It's we're firing him, but it's not really about him as such language. So I think this does signal a big change in direction. Don Waddell has repeatedly said as well, he was hired, that he was going to take the time to sit down with Vincent and discuss, and the timing of this makes me think they did just that. I wouldn't want to stick around either if I was Vincent. He absolutely wanted to stick around, though. You should really listen to his postseason press conference. I really feel for him. Another comment goes out there and says that, hey, 3 years or 3 head coaches in 1 year is nuts, excuse me. He lasted an entire season longer than Babcock. Sorry to see you go, Vincent Pascal. If it weren't your fault, it wasn't your fault, excuse me, at least not entirely. I would have been perfectly fine to let him ride out the year, but I guess Don Waddell wanted a clean break, and that works for me too. Hopefully, we don't monumentally cock it up next time. I mean, what the hell could he have done with this roster? This has been a common refrain, along with the "but he was thrown into a bad situation" from folks, but my firm position is that the guy is a loser who made the team worse than it already was. Okay, there's a big take from not Mitt Romney. I wonder who that is. The 2022-2023 team had a worse roster to begin with, had insanely bad injury luck. Andrew Peeke led the roster in time on ice. Goodbranson was second. Sean Kuraly was the second center. Marcus Bjork and Tim Burney were playing top 4 minutes for most of the season. 22-23 team was actively tanking for the last 2/3 of the season, and they finished with the worst goal differential in the East and fewest points in the East too. Pascal Vincent took over this prior year, and the team had healthy Zach Werenski, added Severson and Provorov, added Fantilli and Voronkov, got a breakout from Chinakhov and a bounce back from Sillinger, had significantly better injury luck, had improved goaltending, were not tanking, and they only added 7 points, still finished with the worst goal differential in the East, still finished with the fewest points in the East. All things considered, they got a worse coaching performance this year, but at least this one led to a horribly dull product on the ice, where none of the young players got enough ice time and none of the skilled players produced. Yeah, but facts care about our feelings. Have you considered he was a real swell guy in a tough spot and we got a feel for him? Yeah, so honestly, I'm kind of changing my perspective a little bit here. I'm not saying that Pascal Vincent was like the best coach in the world, but everything around Columbus was just really unfortunate. And him, his performance, the performance of the team, the way they were able to improve from what was a 22-23 showing of this, it does seem unfortunate to see things go down the way that they did, because Columbus has been in a lull for a long time now. I guess at this point it makes a lot of sense for Don Waddell to pull the plug and say, yeah, sorry, we're not going to continue with this, considering how poorly the team played and how poorly the team was coached at the same time. Despite the fact that you could very well say that they should have been better this previous season compared to last season. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Columbus Blue Jackets firing Pascal Vincent, and whether or not you're more on the "this is unfair and he shouldn't have been fired" train, or was this very well deserved and the guy was just totally bad at his job. Both things can be true at the same time. I'm starting to lean more so towards that perspective, but either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Vincent and his firing. Who goes out there and replaces him? Do you have any picks? Mike Babcock is available. Maybe he's got one more left in him. Who really knows? The last dance, eh? Is that what they call it nowadays? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British 99. And bye.